Good evening. We'll call the meeting to order. It is Monday, May 9th, 2022. It's our regularly scheduled board meeting. We're right here at Dakota Ridge, and it is 6 o'clock. Would you rise and join us with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. I think it quit raining outside, and the severe weather has been canceled, so we're all good. We move forward with the approval of the agenda. Board, there is no additions or deletions or anything that needs to be notified, so the board document that you have in front of you is as is. So I'll ask for a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Corey, a second by Sachin to approve the agenda as outlined. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much. That passes on a 7-0 vote. Tonight, we will move into recognitions, and if you've watched the board ever, you know that this is one thing that we are really proud of, is to recognize and celebrate with our students. So the first recognition this evening is the Minnesota Adapted Floor Hockey PI State Champions, the Dakota United Hawks. And we have our coach, Brett Sadek, presenting this evening. Good evening, Brett.
All right, Chairperson Magnuson, board members, and Superintendent Krieger, thank you very much for having us here. Number one, my name is Brett Sadek, PE teacher in the district at Thomas Lake Elementary. I have two of my other coaches here tonight, co-head coach Jake Wipazinski and Mario Bradshaw. We're here tonight to honor and recognize the 2022 Dakota Hawks Adaptive PI Floor Hockey State Champions. Yeah. With COVID, just like a lot of the other teams in our district and other activities, for 2 years we were not able to have the state tournament. So the first year back, we decided we'd win it. Yep, for sure. This year they had a great year. Our record was 12-1. We had one loss to Brainerd, who was the 3-time defending state champs, and the team we happened to beat in the finals as well. So it was a great season. In the program's 34-year history, this is our 9th state championship. We have also 9 runner-ups, which we don't talk about those too many times. In the history of this program, we have played 499 games. So the first game next year will be number 500. It started back in 1990, and I took over in 1993. So I've been doing it 30 years. Our record all time is 393, 97, and 9. So they've been very successful over the years. Not a lot to do with the coach, but we always have some good players. So just like this year, we had a great team. Lastly, I don't want to take up too much time, but lastly, I want to thank our athletic director, Matt Percival. He's not here tonight, out of Eastview High School, one of the best. Yep. One of the best, and took care of us through the COVID, all those protocol things. I'd like to thank our families. There's quite a few of them here tonight. They came right from a softball game that they won tonight, so they were kind of running in. We got most of our team here. And now I'm going to have Mr. Wipazinski read off some of the names for you, and then we'll scoot on through. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right. So in attendance today, we have Dominic Elvis. Just raise your hand when I call your name. There you go, Dom. We have Jordan Johnson. We have Alex Jorgensen, Livia Grossbauer, Caden Needham, Samantha Jordheim, Fiona Sitzman, and Chloe Shabata. That is who is representing us today. We do have a few out today, but it was a great year, and let's give them all a round of applause.
Yeah.
Woo! Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Nice to see you. Congratulations! Yay! Congratulations for the Dakota United Hawks. What a record. Congratulations. That's great. We will see you again. Make sure somebody reports on their 500th game and lets us know so we can start watching. Next up is Class AA State Speech top finalists, and they're listed by schools. First, we're going to have Apple Valley High School with Dan Hodges presenting the state champions in speech.
Good evening, Chairperson Magnuson and the board. Thank you for having us. My name is Dan Hodges, and I am the Director of Speech at Apple Valley. And I am so filled with pride to be standing here with these young people and to be able to recognize their talent and hard work. Coming into a year that was quite uncertain as to what we were going to expect, these students met that uncertainty with a resounding, the kids are all right. And our program is going to be okay. So in my first year as director of the program, I'm incredibly happy and proud of these speakers and performers. This year, our theme for the year for our program and the team was good people speaking well. And that's what we strive to be every day at Apple Valley. And these speakers in particular really live up to that theme. And so I will go ahead and begin with a few numbers. Apple Valley competed at an incredibly difficult sections tournament and qualified 10 entries representing 11 students to state. All 10 of our state entries made the final round of their respective categories. And all 10 of those entries placed in the top 5 of their category. We then had 2 runners-up and 1 state champion. I will go ahead and introduce them now. We had in original oratory in 5th place, our top 3 speakers. So in 3rd place, Jihan Abdi. In 3rd place in drama, Aquila Dunn. Runner-up or 3rd place in prose, Lucy Standifer. Our runner-up in prose was Lane Donnell. Our runner-up in original oratory was Lydia Voss. And our state champion in dramatic interpretation was Wayne Southwell. Apple Valley finished 2nd at the state tournament, and these speakers and their teammates added to Apple Valley's current record-holding numbers. Apple Valley now, they added to the total, and Apple Valley still holds the record for most medals at the state tournament with 429, and the most state champions in the state with 92 state champions.
Wow.
So as I said, they met that uncertainty with a resounding, we're gonna be all right. Thank you for having us tonight.
Wow.
Congratulations. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you. You get to show off your talent. Thank you so much. Thank you, Coach.
Apple Valley, that is amazing. 429 medals and 92 first place. That is just amazing. Amazing. Congratulations. So fun to get to celebrate with students. Now we get Egan High School. We're going to have Ross Eichel come up and present the Class AA state champions in the top finalists in speech from Egan High School. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Chairperson Magnuson, school board members, and Superintendent Krieger. Thank you for having us. Before we bring honor to these students, I'd like to say thank you. Most districts would be extremely pleased to have 1 or 2 students here, and you have several from several schools, so thank you for your support of the arts. I'd also like to mention Eastview High School hosted the state speech tournament, and they did a phenomenal job representing our district to activity directors and coaches and principals across the state. We are fortunate to be able to have some of our students with us tonight. I'm going to start with extemp reading. Unfortunately, unable to be with us, taking 3rd place was Flynn Gray, so we should honor Flynn with some claps. And then in extemporaneous reading, the state champion was Juju Siage. So congratulations, Juju, on a job well done. Juju and Flynn are coached by Priya Prashad, who is a grad of our district, a phenomenal person and coach, and also a member of the business community within our district. In storytelling, James Iden took second place. Congratulations, James. He is coached by Kathleen Westgard, who is a graduate of our district and an educator within our district and a phenomenal person and coach. And then finally, in discussion, our state champion was Julia Showalter. Congratulations, Julia. And I'm lucky in that I get to be the one who works with Julia on a day-to-day basis.
Nice.
So she giggles. Maybe she's not as lucky. But thank you for having us and for honoring these students and for all that you do for the arts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. Congratulations. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations, Coach.
It's always, congratulations, Egan High School. It's always fun to celebrate. And if we had more time, it would be interesting to have them show us what extemporaneous reading is about, what happens in a discussion. That would be really fun so we could all get a flavor of what that is. But congratulations to all the students at Egan High School. Next up is Eastview High School. Ryan Roseen is presenting our state top finalists. Good evening, Mr. Roseen. How are you?
Well, good evening.
Good evening.
Chairperson Magnuson, board members, superintendent. It's great to be here. I have the honor here of recognizing some of our students who attended and placed in the top 3 here at the state tournament. So, as Ross said, yeah, we were fortunate enough. I think what made it really special for our kids was that we were the host school for the state tournament. We will serve as the host next year as well.
Oh, wow.
So it's a 2-year commitment with that. I'll kind of repeat what Dan said from Apple Valley. Apple Valley and Eastview are in the same section tournament. We advanced 11 to the state tournament, and all 11 of our speakers made it to the final round where they placed in the top 8 in state. So again, it was a pretty incredible, remarkable to have that many people from the section 6AA from 196 schools. Not all of our team can be here today, but I do want to recognize those that are not here tonight first, and then we'll pay tribute to those that are here. Nate Kreckler and Morgan Oxendale were state champions in dual interpretation. We had Caitlin Mayotte was state champion in the category of serious prose. And Lydia Whip was 3rd place in serious interpretation of poetry. Joining us tonight, we have Kayla Faulkner, who took home 2nd place in serious interpretation of poetry. She is coached primarily by Brian Grosso, who is an Eastview High School grad. And then we also have here Olivia Brothers and Angel Dominguez, who are runner-up in dual interpretation. And Olivia and Angel are coached by Brady Beckman, who is a teacher at Blackhawk Middle School and an alumni of Eastview High School as well. Nice. So it's fun seeing our alumni come back and coach and work with our kids and all of that. So it was a wonderful year for speech. It was nice to be back in person. We were fortunate enough that we could do the event during the pandemic, only it was on Zoom and all, screens and all that, and I think everybody was sick of the screen time. So it's nice that we could be in person. But thank you for having us this year, and again, congratulations to our Eastview finalists at the state speech tournament.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you, ladies. Congratulations. Nice to see you. Take care.
Eastview, congratulations. We have to congratulate your students, but also congratulate the whole Eastview team that put that together and host that speech and debate tournament. That is a big job, and you represented our district and our state well. So thank you for all that work. Next, we'll move on to the superintendent's recognition of students and staff. We'll turn it over to Superintendent Krieger.
Congratulations. Congratulations to the 12 District 196 teachers and other staff at schools located in Eagan who will be recognized by the Eagan Rotary during a luncheon celebration next week. The District 196 teachers and other employees include Amanda Schendel of Blackhawk Middle, Susan Misevich of Dakota Hills Middle School, Mark Rudd of Deerwood Elementary School, Polly Tabbert at Eagan High School, Lisa Lyons of Glacier Hills Elementary School of Arts and Science, Megan Untide of Northview Elementary School, Micah Klotz of Oak Ridge Elementary School of Leadership, Environmental, and Health Sciences, Danielle Gendreau of Pinewood Community Elementary School, Patty Hillier of Red Pine Elementary School, Nick Tews of Thomas Lake Elementary School, and Jill Johnson of Woodland Elementary School. Thank you to the Eagan Rotary for recognizing these outstanding employees. And congratulations to the 4 high school seniors who were selected by their schools as 2022 Athena Award recipients. They are Isabella Jensen of Apple Valley High School, Hannah Macaron of Eagan High School, Elizabeth Hallam of Eastview High School, and Alexa Ratzlaff of Rosemont High School. The Athena Awards are given each year to the outstanding senior female athlete at more than 50 Twin Cities area high schools for their excellence and achievements in individual and team sports. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is our special communication request. If you would like to speak during a special communication request, we ask that you submit a form at least 5 days in advance of the meeting. 10 speakers will receive up to 4 minutes to share their comments. If there are more than 10 requests, a lottery is conducted to determine those 10 speakers. Speakers may not allot their time to others, and we use a timer for public comment, and we expect people to finish their remarks and we will give you a 30-second thing, but we expect you to finish your remarks when your time is done. Speakers are also reminded not to share complaints about specific employees or make inappropriate comments. The opinions shared during the public comment portion of the meeting do not necessarily represent the views of the school board or the district, or maybe even you sitting in the audience or watching at home. The audience is expected to be calm, civil, and not disrupt the speakers from being heard. Speakers, when you come to the podium tonight, would you please state your name and your connection to the district? We have 2 speakers this evening. Our first speaker is Larry Jacobson. And Corey has the timer, so he will start after you say your name. Good evening, Larry.
Okay. Yeah, good evening, everyone. I want to thank each of you for serving on the school board, and I trust that you are motivated by a sincere desire to represent each student, whether they go to public school or not, and each resident of the district. My name is Larry Jacobson. I'm here to talk on the subject of being responsive to your constituents. Being retired, I have more time to follow school board meetings over the last 16 months. I responded to a communique in January of 21 that raised some questions which I brought to this venue the following month. These questions have not yet been answered. I find people, some of whom I have spoken to at these forums, who feel that they are also not being heard. Specifically, I will mention the topic of communicating with people of different viewpoints. Brad, a student, addressed you in June of last year. He spoke to you about why he would not be returning to our school system this year. I tried to help bring about communication between Brad and the school board, and am still trying. The only board member who seemed interested in doing that was Angramson. He's not here anymore. I reviewed the video recently and then noticed that Angramson was the only board member who clapped after Brad spoke. Usually, board members make a point of acknowledging students. Why was this student not given that same respect? That raised some questions in my mind. I had already noticed the teachers' union didn't endorse this incumbent in the last election. He was also strong on vocational training and responsive to constituents' calls. Is the school board less diverse without him? There were 3 conservative candidates who were not too far behind the union-endorsed people. Since none of these conservatives were elected, what are you as board members doing to bring that diversity of thought to decision-making? I'm asking you to communicate with students and families who are in this type of situation. Find out how the district could be more welcoming to them and like-minded others who are still in public schools who maybe don't have the resources to leave. Maybe someone from the equity staff should be involved, similar to how Superintendent Krieger brought in a staff at a listening session last month regarding another issue. That was good. Why not offer a student like Brad a similar opportunity for having communication with the school board? If this isn't a good idea, I would like you to tell me why, or what you propose to do instead. Feedback, please. Many students don't have the confidence to express themselves. I remember in high school a teacher drawing me out and asking my opinion from time to time. Wow, someone cares what I think. What a boost to my self-confidence. The Farmington School Board recently voted between 12 applicants to finish the term of someone who is moving. It was interesting to hear what Superintendent Berg had to say to that school board. He asked them to consider candidates who bring different perspectives that the board does not currently have. He added, the ability to ask
Okay.
is essential because a lot of time information that is shared with individual board members
Thank you, Larry. Your time's up.
be the whole story.
Thank you.
Give additional information.
Good. Thank you. Our next speaker this evening is David Bester.
Hi.
Hello,
My name is Dave
Mr.
Bester. I'm a citizen in the district here, and this is my opinion. So I'm going to start out with Lord, I honor you as our God, Creator, Ruler, and loving Heavenly Father, and I pray that your peace that passes all understanding will rest on us here tonight. Amen. Throughout recent years, our education system has been trying to remove God from our schools and even our lives. No matter how hard they try, he's still there with open, loving arms waiting for us to come to him. And I'm going to share my story here. Although throughout all of my life I knew in my heart there is a God, I was of the mindset in my younger years that the earth and everything on it just happened and evolved over time into life as we know it. Theories were presented as facts, and my juvenile mind was convinced it was true. The presentation was excellent, and all the experts agreed. There were pictures and everything. Only the ignorant would disagree. I didn't have to take anything by faith like those religious folks required. I didn't have to believe in a God that I could not see. I just had to follow the science. No faith required there. There was a big bang that happened millions of years ago involving a universe that came from somewhere. No faith required there. There were chemicals that appeared and combined over millions of years, and life appeared. No faith required there. Life evolved and changed. Fish crawled up on land and eventually became man. No faith required there. Life and the universe held themselves together and improved over time with no outside influence. No faith required there. Our scientists with their massive intelligence could see millions of years into the past with only a few years of data and understand clearly how life in the universe happened without the involvement of God. No faith required there. But theories with a convincing presentation aren't necessarily facts. My older brother believed first, and he introduced me to God. Although I denied him up until then, God so loved the world and me that he sent his only son Jesus, that through him I might be saved and not condemned. I only had to believe. Now I understand it takes a lot less faith to believe in Jesus, who I can't even see, than to believe in the theories of so-called scientists. Only God can create the world and hold it together. Only God can create life and sustain life. Give our kids the option to believe in the one true God without making them feel ignorant. It seems as though you waste more time trying to prove there is no God than simply considering that in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. It seems as though you waste more time trying to fight the design of the life God created than simply consider that God created men in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Give our kids the option to believe in the one true God who created the heavens and the earth. Give our kids the option to believe in the one true God who designed life and families and marriage and created them male and female without trying to convince them otherwise. It's like trying to put a square peg in a round hole. It wasn't designed that way. Original equipment manufacturers, OEM, recommendations are always better. Give our kids the option to believe in the one true God without making them feel ignorant. Lord, I pray that you reveal your truth to those whose hearts are open. Amen.
Thank you, David. Next on the agenda this evening is our consent agenda. Under consent, we have the minutes of the April 11th, 2022 regular school board meeting. We have gifts. We have grants. We have the treasurer's report for March 2022. We have summary of claims for March 2022. We have schedule of investments for March 2022. We have revenues and expenditure report for March 2022. We have the 2021 through 2022 spring budget adjustments. We have personnel items. We have termination and non-renewal of probationary teachers. We have group, life, and long-term disability insurance. We have an employee agreement. We have employee agreements probationary. We have a non-public counseling services agreement. We have a memorandum of understanding between the Dakota County and Independent School District 196. We have an agreement with the Egan YMCA and the Burnsville YMCA of the Greater Twin Cities for summer 2022 school-age child care programs. We have 2022-23 hardscape rehabilitation, and we have Eastview High School interior bleacher replacement. Are there any items on the consent agenda that board members would like to pull this evening and move to the end agenda for discussion then? Seeing none, I would ask for a motion in a second.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Bianca,
Second.
a second by Sakowden. We have a motion and a second to pass the consent agenda as outlined. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. That passes unanimously. We have no items of the report this evening. We'll move into items of old business. Jill Coyle is going to come up and walk us through the changes in the overview of the Student Rights and Responsibilities Handbook.
Good evening, Chairperson Magnuson, members of the board, and Superintendent Krieger. I am here tonight with the school district's 2022 to 2023 overview of Student Rights and Responsibilities Handbook. This, of course, is our handbook that we publish on our website, mail home to all families in August, and go over with our students in the fall. Just as a refresher, the overview of student rights and responsibilities is where we can find all of our policies and regulations on student behavior. But more than that, the handbook acts as a guide to our families on a variety of school district policies and procedures, ranging from discrimination and harassment to student fees and fines to data privacy to attendance and much, much more. Each year, the handbook is updated to include legal updates as well as language changes that come to us through administration and our various school communities. I'm here tonight to go over the annual changes, proposed changes. So I did go through a list of proposed changes when I was here in April. For the benefit of the audience, I'll go through that list again quickly. First, changes proposed to limit the availability of student information to the military to students in grades 11 and 12. Parents and eligible students continue to have the right to opt out of that. In addition, the section on corporal punishment, physical restraint, and reasonable force has been relocated and revised to align with statutory requirements. A statement is added to the student attendance section to match recent changes in the law regarding the accommodation of religious observances. Portions of the section previously titled Student Behavior and Discipline are either relocated or deleted to remove redundancies. A reference to the student fees and fines regulation has been added. And then within the behaviors and responses grid, which you find in the center of the book, the following changes have been proposed. In category 28, interference, disruption, or obstruction, there's a revision to add language about student behavior that compromises safety. In category 38, sexual violence, there's an update to reference the district's Title IX sexual harassment grievance process. And finally, in category 39, technology related, the language has been updated to apply more fully to our elementary school students. With that, I offer the proposed revisions to the overview of student rights and responsibilities for the 2022-23 school year. It's a matter for your approval this evening, so unless I can answer any questions for you, it is to you to approve.
Thank you. Before we move into discussion, I'll ask for a motion and a second on this agenda item.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion by Joel, a second by Sachin. Are there any questions or comments from the audience on our overview of students' rights and responsibilities? Seeing none, it will be mailed to everybody in August, just before school starts, and I'm sure as soon as it will probably be online.
Fairly soon. I imagine it'll be online, certainly by August.
Yep, very good. Questions or comments from board members? We went over the changes, and you've had the changes in front of you, so seeing none. We have a motion by Joel, a second by Sachin to approve the overview of students' rights and responsibilities handbook. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. That passes on a unanimous consent. Thank you, Joel.
Thank you.
We have several other action items this evening, and Tom Pederstuen is going to lead us through 3 of them. So, Tom Pederstuen will first go through the collective bargaining agreement with our Principals Association of Rosemont. Welcome, Tom.
Good evening, Chairperson Magnuson, members of the board, and Superintendent Krieger. I'll be referring to the exhibit, the collective bargaining agreement with the school district's principals and assistant principals. These employees, represented by the Principals Association of Rosemont, ratified the proposed working agreement on May 4th. I'll highlight the terms of the settlement for you. Increase wages, stipends, and longevity by 2.5% in each year of the agreement. Increase the district contribution to health insurance by 5% in each year of the agreement. Increase the matching 403B contribution by $250 per year in each year of the agreement. There were some other minor language modifications and clarifications. The total new cost during the term of this agreement will be within the parameters you established. On behalf of the administration, I recommend that you approve the collective bargaining agreement I've just summarized, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have at this time.
Perfect. This is another action item this evening, so I'll ask for a motion and a second. Motion by Bianca, second by Corey. Are there any questions or comments on this agenda item from the public? Seeing none, questions or comments from board members? What we like to hear is it's within parameters.
It's always a good thing.
That's always a good thing. That's why we start with parameters. So with that, we've got a motion from Bianca and a second by Corey to approve the collective bargaining agreement with principals and the Principals Association of Rosemont. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. That passes on a unanimous vote. Next up is the compensation and benefits for non-union administrators, special staff, assistant administrators, and deans. We'll turn it back over to you.
Okay. Again, this time I'll be referring to the exhibit on the compensation and benefits for non-union administrators, special staff, assistant administrators, and deans. I'll highlight the recommended changes for you. Increase wages and longevity by 2.5% in each year. Increase the district's contribution to health insurance by 5% each year. Increase the 403B matching contribution by $250 per year in each year. And again, there were some other minor language clarifications in this one also. The total new costs during the term of this agreement are within the parameters you established. On behalf of the administration, I recommend you approve the changes I've just summarized. And again, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you. It's an action item this evening, so before we move into discussion, I'll ask for a motion in a second.
So moved.
Motion by Corey, a second by Bianca. Is there any questions or comments from the audience? Seeing none, questions or comments from board members? Again, within parameters. Good job. With that, we've got a motion by Corey, a second by Bianca to approve the compensation and benefits for the non-union administrators, special staff, assistant administrators, and deans. All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. 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 Opposed? Thank you. That passes on a 7-0 vote. Next, we'll move on to compensation and benefits for non-licensed specialists. We'll turn it back to you, Tom.
Okay, I'll be referring to the exhibit on compensation benefits for non-licensed specialists, and I'll highlight the recommended changes for you. Again, this is going to sound familiar. Increase wages by 2.5% each year, increase the district contribution to health insurance by 5% in each year, and increase the 403B matching plan contribution by $250 per year in each year. And again, there were some other minor clarifications. The total new costs during the term are within the parameters you established. And on behalf of the administration, I recommend that you approve the changes I've just summarized, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have on this.
Perfect. Before we go into discussion, I'll ask for a motion and a second.
Motion to approve.
A motion by Sakowden and a second by Art. Any comments or questions from the audience? Seeing none, questions and comments from board members? And again, within parameters. So we like that. We're kind of on a roll here.
Yep.
I bet we get one more that says that too. So with that, we've got a motion by Sakowden, a second by Art, with compensation and benefits for non-licensed specialists. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. That passes on a unanimous vote.
Thank you.
Mr. Pederstuen. It's your staff that helps us get through that and make it good for both our employees and our public. So thank you very much. Next item on the other agenda items, we've got the compensation and benefits for directors. We'll turn it over to Superintendent Krieger.
Thank you. I will be highlighting the recommended changes for the compensation and benefits for directors for the 2022-23 and 23-24 school years. You may find this familiar as well. The changes include increased wages by 2.5% each year, increase the district contribution to health insurance by 5% each year, increase the 403 matching contribution by $500 per year in each year, and other minor language modifications and clarifications. The recommendations take into account general compensation and benefits trends, recent collective bargaining agreements with other administrative and non-administrative employee groups in the district, and budget guidelines. On behalf of the administration, I recommend that you approve the changes.
Before we go into discussion, I'd like a motion and a second. Motion by Sachin, a second by Art. Are there any questions from the audience? Questions and comments from board members? Joel.
Not a question, just want to point out that the board exhibit is incorrect. It shows the language for the non-union administrator special staff instead of the other. So if we all have seen and heard the correct language, so we'll vote on that.
I see what you're saying.
But if
yes.
we can adjust the exhibit for posterity.
We will do that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, because the matching says 250 rather than 500.
Okay.
So it was the one that got in there, put in there twice. So
that's it.
yeah, where's Bob Schutte when you need him? Exactly.
Thank you for looking at that closely.
Yeah.
I apologize for not catching that.
No,
sooner,
I didn't
but-
catch it either, and I just saw it when the superintendent's going 500, and I'm like, no, it says 250, and then I realized that too. So good eye.
So we are voting on the correct language.
The
We
correct
just need to
language.
adjust that.
Yes.
Okay.
Then I just,
Yeah, and then we can just update the correct language. Mary already told us the correct language. So with that, we've got a motion by Sachin, a second by Art, for the compensation and benefits for directors in the correct language. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. That passes on a 7-0 vote. And again, that was within parameters. So, very good. We've come to the end of our board meeting tonight. We've got board members and superintendent updates. Any school board members with items they'd like to share? Art.
There are a couple of significant events coming up for our American Indian Education Program. Just wanted to invite the community out for the next couple of weekends. On the 14th, this coming Saturday at noon at the Rosemount Central Park, there's going to be the graduation honoring for our American Indian students. Always a fun time to get outside and eat some tacos and honor the kids. They had me at tacos, but I definitely there to honor the kids. And the following Saturday, our district participates in the annual South of the River Powwow at Burnsville High School. Also starting at noon, goes all day. A lot of great vendors. There's a lacrosse presentation on traditional lacrosse and a lot of fun for the whole family. And it's open to the whole community, and this is our chance to show off kind of what we do in our community to the rest of the community. So we invite everybody to come out both Saturday here in Rosemount and then the following Saturday in Burnsville. Thanks.
Any other items with that board members would like to report? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least 10 graduations coming up. And we look forward to celebrating with our students and staff and parents for those watching those graduates and having them be so proud of their accomplishments. So we look forward to that. We also have four ceremonies each at the different high schools where students are signing their intent to be in the military. And so we applaud all those students and we'll be with them to celebrate too. So now we'll turn it over to Superintendent Krieger.
Okay, well, in the theme of the big events coming up, as Chairperson Magnuson said, we are looking forward to our 2022 graduation ceremonies. And on behalf of the administration, I want to congratulate the more than 2,100 seniors who will graduate from District 196 this spring. We recognize them for their hard work and perseverance to achieve this milestone and wish them all the best in the next chapter of their lives. Commencement ceremonies for our 4 comprehensive high schools will be held on Saturday, June 4th. Egan High is at 2:22 p.m. in the school stadium. Apple Valley High is at 4 p.m. at Mariucci Arena. Rosemont High is at 7 p.m. at Mariucci, and Eastview High is at 7 p.m. at the school stadium. Graduations will also be held, as you heard, many others, at different sites and programs we'll be celebrating later this month and into June. A complete list of graduation ceremonies will be available on the district website at district196.org. So, ending my comments tonight, last week I shared with families an update on our COVID-19 situation in District 196. We continue to see a steady increase in positive cases among both our students and staff and across Dakota County. Alongside our district and building COVID-19 teams, we remain focused on the health and safety of our learning community and finishing the school year strong and in person. If intervention is needed, we will base our decisions on a scalpel approach to address school and classroom-specific clusters. Adequate staffing has always been a factor in our ability to safely operate in-person learning. With growing concerns around staffing shortages and just 4 weeks left of the school year, we encourage families to create plans for alternative care for their child if their classroom, grade, or school needs to change schedules on short notice. We ask the community members also to continue their personal mitigation strategies, such as masking indoors if able. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention also recommends staying home when sick and getting the COVID-19 vaccine when eligible. More information about our safety measures can be found on our COVID-19 dashboard at district196.org/COVID-19. And again, just to let our community know, we are definitely experiencing a change this week with the numbers of students and staff out and with trying to continue to cover classrooms to keep in-person learning. So it's important we all do our best.
Exactly. We'll all do our best. We've come to the end of the meeting tonight. Our next regularly scheduled meeting is June 13th back here at Dakota Ridge. We congratulate all the seniors and wish them well. With that, I will ask for a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Corey and a second by Joel to adjourn the meeting. All in favor of adjournment indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. That passes on a unanimous vote. Good evening. The meeting is adjourned.